Justice has been working hard for many years to develop his career as a voice actor, and it has definitely paid off. Today, I'm asking him about his experience with booking agents, his process for auditioning, and his valuable advice for beginners. I hope you enjoy the conversation. Thanks for joining. Who are you, and how did you get involved in voice acting?
Hello, I'm Justice Margowski. I also go by Mild Hot Sauce. I got into voice acting 2000 teens, we'll say, and it started out as me getting a mic because I've always been able to change my voice and do character voices all my life, and I wanted to be a voice actor, and sadly, tragically, my sister passed away in a car wreck, and we got some cash from that, and I was able to get a mic. I went directly to voices.com and actually contacted me over the phone and, like, talked me into getting into voice acting, and I failed. I did a full year of auditions, like 300 or something, and I got none. So I took all that time, went away from it until one day, one of my favorite games and voice actresses did an AMA on Reddit for, I think it was Borderlands 3, Marissa Lenny, and I asked her, "How do I get into voice acting?" And she actually gave me a pretty good step by step, and then I got to it. Went to go make a booth at my friend's house, and my family at that point did not like that. They didn't like me going into voice acting at all. They didn't support at all. And so I ran away from home and made the booth at my friend's house, and I've been recording ever since. Though I've changed locations since then, and I myself have completely changed entirely on how I conduct myself in this industry, but yeah, pretty much the same.
Let's talk about the fact that it was hard at first to actually land a role. What was that like? How did you navigate that at the beginning? And how has that changed now that you're in a different time of your life?
I didn't even understand how to record really in Audacity. I didn't really know the formatting of auditions. I didn't understand even the website. I went in completely blind and just full of hope. But on Casting Call Club, everything's pretty simple. It's straightforward. You can learn by steps. And as you do it, you're going to get better. You're going to learn things. You're going to learn what stuff is, and I mean, I've been doing this, I think it's 6 years now, professionally, and you learn so much in that time. At the beginning, it's about failure. It really is. Like, you're gonna stumble so much. You're gonna be told you're doing something wrong, and don't be offended. Just learn. Just learn from that moment and keep moving.
Are you still going through Casting Call Club for auditions, or do you have other means of finding and sending those in these days?
I use multiple sources, but I like Casting Call Club, even the unpaid stuff, just simply because it keeps me in vocal shape. I have multiple agents that get me auditions, and I typically try to scour the internet for audition locations as well.
Let's actually talk about the agent. So, how long have you been working with that, and what has that been like for you?
Well, my first agent, there was a lot of people talking about it on social media when it first came out. And I actually recently got dropped by them, and that's only because I didn't, like, sign up for another year or whatever. That one, not really good experience. Now all my others, very good. I have 3. I have Crown North Talent Agency, AB2, and I just got accepted by Big Mouth Talent.
What's the process for getting an agent?
The signing up process is pretty straightforward. Typically, they're all about the same, but you're going to need a resume, you're going to need a demo. Sometimes you don't need a headshot. They're actually kind of fine with that. They'll ask some other information about you, like location, if you have a booth. But from that point on, after you hit send, it's out of your hands. And it's pretty easy to know if your agent is good or, a scam.
What process did you go about for your demo? Tell me a little bit about that.
I've done demo work on my own, but I actually do have a demo guy. I got him from Casting Call Club, and it started as, I think it was just a narration job, and then it turned out he wasn't really, like, a really good audio engineer, and he got into making demos, and now he just makes free demos for anyone, and he posts, like, things on Casting Call like, "Hey, I'll make you a voiceover demo," and he'll help you write it, he'll help you edit it, and if you got a problem with it, you just tell him, "Hey, can we change this?" and boom.
So, what kind of projects have you done in the past? What are you doing now? Tell me a little bit about some of those specific projects and characters.
I have worked in every bit of the industry. The only thing I really haven't done is, like, the phone system stuff. I typically stick to characters and video games. I've done a lot of audiobooks, but I don't know, ACX, I'm not feeling it lately.
What has that scope look like for you? Has that grown over time? Where do you kind of hone in on character voices?
I also play pretty much everything, but my main ones are dads, typical, like, thug villains, superheroes often a lot, demons, monsters, creatures, animals, anything that could be in a comic dub, I'll do.
What are your goals for the rest of this year? And then what are your future long term goals?
Short term is just survival. Keeping consistent is key with this industry. You'll notice that if you don't audition for a week, you might as well have not have auditioned for a month. You're gonna have a major dry spell. So staying consistent is the main key right now. As for long term, I do have some projects I wanna be in. I would love to be in, say, a Borderlands game, Final Fantasy 14, fighting game also. Some really big game industry kinda thing would be awesome.
What does your current studio setup look like?
I am in a homemade booth in an apartment. I got panels on the walls, sound reduction every direction. It affects your ears once the doors are fully closed. I'm gonna upgrade soon a little bit more. I have a few tweaks I wanna do here and there.
Tell me a little bit about the pieces of equipment that you have in that studio.
I have actually multiple mics. I use a Rode NT1 mic. So I have a what is this? A Snowball and a Rode USB. Those are my backup mics just in case something happens. And a Focusrite. I think it's a Scarlett Third. Just a pretty basic Lenovo computer. Like you don't need too much.
What about branding yourself through social media, website? How have you gone about that process?
You see all these people posting like, "Hey, I was in this. Hey, I was in that," and they're showing all this stuff. I record so much for so many different projects that I can't keep up. So I'll occasionally shout something out, or I'll talk with a director for, like, a casting call club thing and shout out their casting, but otherwise, I've been just kinda sticking to kindness and just being kind of just generally nice, like, retweeting someone's demo, I think is awesome. I give out trophies all the time on Casting Call Club usually every October, I give out, like, 1,000.
Are you doing this pretty much full time?
This is full time. Yeah, I get about, if we're saying recording only, 2 to 4 hours a day.
Do you have any tips for trying to keep your voice and protect your voice?
I got a few tips. I've heard of many, like, at-home remedies. I personally, it's drink some water. Cough drops, menthol cough drops help me a lot. Also, a saltwater gargle. That always helps too. It doesn't hit your vocal cords, but your throat also is gonna be hurt, and it's just gonna be scratchy. Just keep hydrated. Don't whisper. Don't whisper. Whisper is as bad as shouting.
How can people who are starting figure out maybe what their niche is or what kind of characters that they play well when they're just beginners?
You'll probably be told. You're gonna be walking into an audition, and you're gonna think, "Hey, I'm gonna play these characters," and you'll probably be told, in a message like, "Hey, I really liked your take, but could you play this character or try out for this character?" And over time, as you're gonna get cast, you're gonna start seeing a trend of what suits you. And you can dip into other ones for sure if you really wanna be a villain and you still haven't been cast yet, keep trying. Sometimes I found directors don't know how to describe what they want, so they'll have to tell you it multiple times. And you may even record for them and they'll be like, "Hey, I need you to retake it. I need you to do this again." I honestly recommend maybe try finding something that they are describing, like another animated character or something, and be like, "Hey, do you want something like this or something like this?" And whatever's closer, kinda work with that. Build upon your own voice and just go from there.
Let's talk through audition sides and character descriptions. How do you kind of conceptualize it? How long of a process does it take you? What's that timeline look like?
Typically, when you get something from an agent, you're presented with a lot of rules and, like, regulations to how they want the audio to sound and look like and the naming and everything. From there, you can work with it. Sometimes there's actually pictures and stuff that come with it, and really visualize. If you're looking at, like, an orc, they're gonna sound like an orc. They're gonna sound like they have their teeth forward, and, like, you kinda gotta go with a gut feeling of how they would look animated and voiced. For take 1, I try to go for as close to their description as I can, and for take 2, I try to go more my own personal interpretation, which could be close, but also with second takes, you want it to be said with different speeds and different slight emotions, we'll say.
What about other advice for beginning voice actors?
Get as much practice as you can. Don't be afraid to sound stupid in your booth or wherever you are. You're gonna wanna work on voices, but you're gonna be like, "Ah, that sounds stupid." No, no, and you're gonna tear it at yourself. Just sit alone somewhere, talk to yourself in different voices, just kinda go a little stir crazy. You can really create some magic there. As for equipment, there are some websites that you can get some good equipment. Sweetwater I've heard is really good for cheap reused equipment. Also, Amazon typically, I think mine I got on a pretty big sale, my Rode mic.
You talked about Casting Call Club. That is a free resource, which is
Yeah,
great. Is there anything else you recommend specifically for beginners?
I do have a master list VO resource. This resource, it's got podcasts, it's got casting websites, rosters, practice scripts for both, just normal stuff and character scripts. It's got a link to how to get started. It's got NAVA and SAG-AFTRA, audiobook stuff, classes, studios, casting, agencies. It's got everything, and I'll actually give it to you right after this call, and you can link it in the description if you want. One last advice. Our biggest enemy is not other voice actors or, big corporations or even AI, which, I mean, that's our second enemy. Our biggest is actually our own mental health. We probably tear at ourselves so much during an audition, like, "Oh, this ain't good enough. I'm not good enough." And you get imposter syndrome and you start hating yourself. We don't got time for that. Finding how to mentally heal through that and get past also like anxiety too. There's a lot of anxiety that happens because of this job. We're really putting ourselves out there. Like every audition, that's a vulnerability and it hurts. And that's our biggest enemy is ourselves slightly.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It was a great conversation.
Thanks for having me.